Hello, I'm Lauren Gaudian, Director of Corporate Communications and Public Relations for Republic Airways. Republic Airways is an airline located in Indianapolis with about 1,000 flights every day to Canada, the Caribbean, cities across the United States, and we have about 6,500 employees who work for our airline that are pilots, flight attendants, maintenance technicians, and then several other people who have office jobs like I do. Now, I could have become a pilot or a flight attendant maybe, but for me, I feel like I have the best job in the entire company because what I get to do is I get to tell stories about all of those people and the work that we do as an airline. So not only do I get to talk about the great things that we do, I get to go out and see it too. I get to travel a lot for my job and meet the people that are out in our business doing the work. So while my job can be tough from day to day, it's also a lot of fun. Now, I have to admit that whenever I was in grade school, I definitely did want to become a flight attendant. I thought, what better way to see the world, have fun, and get paid than to be a flight attendant? However, while you can't tell in this video, is that I'm not quite 5 feet, and so I didn't know if that would ever become a reality, thinking that I'd have to be so tall to become a flight attendant. So instead, I focused on another thing that I love to do, and that's talk and tell stories. So in my job, like I already mentioned, I get to share the good news that our company does. And how I got here? Well, I have worked for the company for about 5 years now, and I've had a few different positions. I started out as a college relations consultant. And what that is a fancy title for going to colleges and talking to students and recruiting them to work for our airline. So even in that role, I got to do what I do best, and that's talk. So from there, I was fortunate to get a small promotion to become the talent brand strategist. And that's where I got to start managing our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I also got to work with advertisement and marketing companies to market our airline for people to learn about Republic. I did that for about a year, and then we did something super cool as an airline, and we opened a flight school. You may have heard about it, and some of you may have even flown our simulator in the Lift Lab or at JA BizTown. We opened Lift Academy in 2018, and I was on the small team that really created the school. We did everything from building and writing a curriculum for our pilot students to figuring out, how do we create a logo like Lift, that triangle. That was all part of my job. I got to have that creative thinking and figure out what is a way that we can make flying or learning how to fly look really fun. And so I was able to help build that brand. And then I was able to help start the school by being the associate director of admissions and recruitment. So I got to help with the bringing students on board. So not only did I get to market out to them, but once they decided that they did want to join Lyft, I was able to help bring them into the admission process and get them flying. So I did that for about another year and a half, and then I got an opportunity to go back to the airline and do the marketing, communications, and public relations for both Lift Academy as well as Republic. And that's what I'm doing in my current role as Director of Corporate Communications and PR. So what does my job look like on a day-to-day basis? Well, I can't really give you a straight answer because it truly changes every single day. Fortunately, I do get to travel a lot for my job. At Republic, while we are based here in Indianapolis, we do have locations in 12 different cities across the US. So sometimes I get to travel out to those locations and meet and talk with and share the stories of our awesome flight attendants and pilots and maintenance technicians. And then on other days, I have a lot of meetings. I write a lot. If you haven't figured out that writing is very important, you'll need to start paying attention in your English classes, because I can promise you that no matter what career you go into, writing is very important. And so is the way that you work with people and communicate with them. So I was fortunate that whenever I went to school and majored in mass communications, no matter what I did or what I decided to do in my career, those skills would definitely be transferable for me. So What type of education did I get? Well, I kind of alluded to it already, but I actually have a bachelor's degree in mass communications, a focus on TV and film. So I'm super excited to do this video today. And I also have a degree in Spanish, and Spanish has really helped me to broaden my communication with some of our Hispanic flight attendants and pilots and maintenance technicians as well. And then I also continued on after my bachelor's degree to get a master's in public administration, which is really where my public relations and government affairs experience comes into play. But with that being said, no matter what you decide to get a degree in, like I mentioned, the communication skills are always very important. So with that being said, if you haven't ever thought about a career in aviation, I can tell you that it is such an exciting field. Maybe communicating isn't your exactly cup of tea, but for me, even if I didn't want to be in the communications field here, I would definitely want to stay working in the airlines because there are so many fun things and benefits. For example, our staff get flight benefits for Delta, United, and American, so we can fly anywhere in the United States or even in the world for either free or highly reduced. And beyond being a flight attendant, pilot, maintenance technician, or communication staff member, there are countless jobs within the aviation industry that you can explore, and they're right here in Indianapolis at Republic. So for example, we have IT staff, we have human resources, finance positions, accounting, supply chain, data analyst. So there are so many opportunities that you can explore right here in your city that give you the opportunity to not only hone your skill, but see the world as well. So while you explore, I want to make sure that you know that we have an additional opportunity for you to explore in JA BizTown. In fact, if you've been there in the past year, you'll see that right when you walk through the doors, you walk directly into the Republic Airways hangar. And what better way to understand if becoming a flight attendant, pilot, maintenance technician is an option for you, but to experience it through that opportunity.